What is up, folks? This is Ericast, and welcome back to Infinity Minecraft. Alright, so today we're going to be working on a few things. So I made a few tools in the last episode, but I can't yet use them because I don't have a way to charge them. Because unlike the IC2 generators, there's no slot in here to charge directly off of your dynamo. So also, I had these set up wrong, incorrectly. So these back ones are supposed to be blue, and the right ones are supposed to be the orangish color. So I think I had it reversed on all but one of them, so it was not charging well at all. Because basically the energy that was coming down through the floor and then up through here was going into it and then immediately into this and not using these top two. So the bottom one was the only one that was set up correctly and these top two were not. So that was a bit unfortunate, but no, I fixed it. I was like, I should be getting more energy than that, and noticed energy was building up in the dynamos, but it wasn't transferring to these guys. At least not efficiently, so yeah. That happens. And just, if things start looking weird, just check things out and make sure you have all your colors right, because it's not necessarily intuitive and it doesn't have any tooltips or anything telling you what colors they are supposed to be. So just, check it out every once in a while. Make sure you have things set up correctly. Alright, so I think everything else is pretty much as it was. But let's go ahead and start setting up our infuser. That way we can move on to using those weapons. And I do have these in this enchanting table up here, but I don't quite yet have enough bookshelves. You can see it only goes up to 24, so. And there's no use really putting anything but a level 30 enchant on, so. Unless you're looking for a specific thing from a book. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with that. So what are we going to need? So let's just type in infuser. Okay, and I did think about making this one because it charges really, really fast, but it holds so much energy that it would drain my entire network and never fill up. So I'm just going to use this one. Alright, and the basic one, not even the resonant one. I have been thinking about when I want to switch over to Ender IO. As far as cables and such go, I think I'll probably make the switch. I want to play around with the thermal dynamics stuff too, because they have some pretty high-end things now. But I don't know. I'll probably start playing around with the machinery when we move. But I'm not sure about the conduits and such. The conduits are just so nice from Ender IO. It's hard not to use them. So we'll just have to see. Alright, so we're going to need some copper gears. That's not a big deal. Actually, don't I have a bunch of copper gears? Yes, I do. So I don't need to make these. That makes me happy. What is this? Alright, let's make some transmission coils, which I don't actually need that many of. I'm just going to make 4 for now. I need a machine frame. I don't want to make the complicated one. I just want to make this one. Do I have any tin gears? I do. Awesome. And, okay. And what else do I need? I need a leadstone energy frame. Not the actual, whatchamacallit? The end product, we'll call it. Alright, so here is our infuser. Now, I should have these stored up in here, and this is actually a very, very simple machine. Not complicated at all. But the problem is, I guess I'll just stick it over here for now. This is whoa. Okay. What the? Alright, so this is all messed up. So, but basically you can see what's going on here. I moved here to get away from slimes. And what do I get? a slime. Alright, so you can see it's just charging up right here. And I'm guessing it'll go over to here once it's done. But, yeah, this interface is all messed up. Alright. You asked for it, slime. Oh. In the past, I've liked slimes. No more. I despise them now. After living near 2 slime islands for a little while... all slimes must die. Alright. Now, we can go peacefully back to what we were doing. There is a slime island over there, and I do get them around here every once in a while, but it's not that often, so I'm not too worried about slimes, but still, any slime that I see, it must die. Alright, so this should be done. Yep, all done. And it holds 160,000, so that's not actually that much. We'll go ahead and put our axe in here. And it actually charges pretty darn quickly. And our shovel. And again, it only takes a second, so. But, yeah, we are going to need something that will help us out in getting, let's go and just dump all this stuff in here. I made some more Electrum and Var, just to help us out with some of the stuff we're going to be building today. It's, at this point, just having these by themselves, it's better to use my Tinker's Construct stuff. And honestly, the Tinker's Construct stuff is kind of amazing. But the problem is you do have to repair them. So, let's go ahead and take care of that other problem that we have. Alright, so let's go ahead and just do thermal, and let's go down here, and we're going to make a flux capacitor. Now, there are much nicer versions of these that you can make with Draconic Evolution, but I need to be able to kill a wither to be able to make those, and we don't have anywhere near the kind of armor and such that we need to be able to kill a wither, or weapons, or potions, or anything like that. So it's going to be a while until we can get into the Draconic Evolution stuff, but that's not really that big of a deal. Alright, so we're going to have to go one by one through each of these capacitors, which is not that big of a deal. These lower level ones don't actually take that much, so yeah, just copper, lead, redstone, and some sulfur. So, ta-da! We have our first capacitor. Let's say it's really that easy. Alright, for these first ones. So, tin and redstone and Invar for the second one, which I have all of. And for the redstone, we need Electrum, which I just showed you that I made some more of. So, and we also need a diamond, but getting one diamond is not difficult at all. So, we'll have that one. Now, for the highest tier of the flux capacitor, the resonant one, we need some pyrotheum, which we made in the last episode. I don't think I have any more of that though, so we'll have to make some more, but it's really easy to make. And we also need some enderium, which is basically ground up ender pearls. But you also need this shiny metal, which might be a problem. I don't know that I have any. Do I? I have one shiny ingot. Is that going to be enough? I think so. Because I'm pretty sure that it makes 2. Enderium blend, it makes 4. Okay. So this should be fine, having just the one shiny metal. Slime shard. So, really, we only have one. Okay. So to get the shiny metal, what you have to do is run the ferrous ore through a pulverizer, and it has to be a pulverizer because the shiny dust comes in the secondary slot. Otherwise, if you use something like the IC2 version, you're not going to get it. because it has to be a pulverizer and be the second slot. So you can get shiny ore spawn in the world though, but it is extremely rare. And I've only seen a handful, period, like ever. So and just keep in mind that you're probably not going to find the shiny ore. Alright, so ignoring my impulsive sorting, let's go ahead and grind this down and get our shiny dust. Okay. So we're also going to need some silver, I believe. Do I have any in here? I don't know that I do. Okay, we can just go up here. Because I know I have a bunch of silver in here. Alright, so what else are we going to need to get that? We should just do this and this. Alright, so we need one shiny metal. We need 1 silver and 2 tin. Okay, so it should have some tin down there, but I need silver. I want to use up this stuff just to have it stack in the same stack. Alright, so let's go ahead and just do all 13. I don't need that much, but... there we go. So 1, and I need 2 tin. It's aluminum. Do I really not have tin? I have 1 tin. Oh gosh. Alright, so do I have any in here? Aluminum, tin. Alright. So let's grind that up. Get our 1 that we need. Come on. Where'd it go? Oh. Okay, so it's 2 different types then. Okay, this is an IC2 version versus the other. Okay, I see what's going on. Well, hopefully this will work. I think it will. It should. And if it doesn't, then I'll make it work. Alright, so we also need a bucket. We don't have any buckets. Alright, so let's make a bucket. And that's not how you make a bucket. And I'm just going to make several because I keep needing those things. Oh, and I guess I'll just make one more. Alright, and we need some ender pearls. Okay. So we're going to do basically the same thing that we did with the redstone, except for now I'm going to switch it to be the left one and not the right one. Let's say this one I'll have for redstone, which I'm making a bunch of flux electrum over here. Need some more redstone to finish that off. And I also have this one over here, which actually this shouldn't... Oh yeah, it is. Okay. So we're going to put this in the magma crucible. And we'll end up with some resin ender. Alright, so we just need 1 bucket full. Let's place it over here. And we have that. Alright, so let's see if this tin dust over here is going to help us out the way we want it to. Is it? Yes. Enderium blend. Awesome. So we also need some pyrotheum. So let's go ahead and head up here. Okay, so nope, I don't have any. Alright. So we'll click on something that has enderium in it. And then do pyrotheum, which is just coal powder, sulfur, blaze powder, and redstone. And we should have a little bit of that. Okay, so blaze powder is our limiting factor. But we do have some blaze rods in here. We have 15. I need to get some more of that, but it's okay that we don't have a lot right now. Alright, so we need to use this in an induction smelter, which, did I make one? Yes, I did. Okay. I thought I did last episode, but I wasn't sure. So, we'll do this. And slowly but surely, it's going to creep over and make enderium ingots. Awesome. I'll just leave that one there for now. And yeah, that's fine. Alright, so we'll go back and take a look at the flux capacitor. So I needed one of those pyrotheums. I thought I might, and I did. Oops. Went forward a little too quickly. Alright, so we need that. And what else do we need? Let's take a look. we just need redstone. Alright, so that should be really simple. So let's just toss all this in here. And then we'll click on it again. And ta-da! We have our top tier resonant flux capacitor, which holds 20 million RF. Alright, so that's a decent amount. And you can also see that the send and receive for the redstone flux is actually different. So the send is 16,000 and the receive is 32,000, which means that it'll always charge up faster than it'll send, which is actually pretty nice. Okay, so we're going to, let's see, how much do these hold? These hold 2 million. And this one holds 20 million. Alright, so it's going to take a decent amount of time to actually charge this thing up. As you can see, this drains extremely fast, extremely quickly, and it hardly has anything in it. You can't even see it on this progress bar right there. Alright, so it's going to take a little while to charge that thing up, but I'll do it off camera. So, because it is going to take a while, and it's going to take probably quite a bit of coal. But that's okay. We have enough. Alright, so I will be back when that is done. Alrighty, folks. So it's been a while, and, well, I don't know exactly how long it's been, but it's been quite a while. Alright, so as you can see, this is still just slowly charging up. The problem are these, or is these, leadstone flux conduits, or flux ducts. So, since these are the lowest tier, they don't actually transfer that much energy at a time. The next step would be the hardened, but I'm going to go ahead and use the redstone version, because we have everything we need to make those. Now, I'm not going to make the highest ones, the highest tier, but I am going to make the highest tier is these resonant ones, which transfer 32,000 RF per tick, which is a lot. Or actually, these are the highest, and they instantly transfer everything. But that's kind of crazy. So, yeah. Actually, these aren't... I mean, don't get me wrong, this is pretty darn expensive, but it's not as expensive as I thought it would be. I thought it would take Enderium, and it doesn't. Which would kind of... Oh. Okay, well, never mind. Alright, so we're going to go with these. These are not that hard to make. Alright, so what it takes is 2 electrum and 1 hardened glass per 6 of these guys. But you also have to fill them up with redstone. So we already have that set up. So that is not that big of a deal. And to get the hardened glass, what you need is pulverized obsidian and lead. And you put those 2 things in here. And it will make hardened glass for you. Like so. See? Do hardened glass per 4 of the pulverized obsidian. So, just so you know what the ratio for that is. And then, should I? Yeah, let's go ahead and just grab the electrum out of that. Alright, so, okay, so it's just our normal electrum. Oh, and actually I have a good deal of blend. I've got 116. Interesting. Okay. So if we need more, that's where we'll get it. But we shouldn't, because reasons. But we actually don't need that much. We just need to rewire all of this here. And add one more over here, probably for something else later on. But, this, namely. Alright, so let's go ahead and make what we can of these. This should be plenty to do whatever we need to do here. And for a while further. So let's go ahead and stick these in here. And they'll quickly fill up, and you'll end up with your redstone energy flux ducts. So they were called conduits, energy conduits, but now they're flux ducts, which actually, it sounds kind of like a joke, but it's really hard to say either way. So these will transfer 8,000 RF per tick. as opposed to, let's see, item ducts, impulse item ducts, which are awesome. These are actually kind of cool. They'll transfer both items and redstone energy, so that's neat. Okay, so leadstone transfers 200 RF per tick, so these are considerably faster. So 8,000 versus 200. And you also have these which do 800, but honestly, I mean, let's take a look at the pattern for it. So it takes Invar and redstone as in addition to the already made flux ducts. So it would just be basically a waste of redstone and Invar, because, I mean, if you didn't have the machinery that we've already set up, then yeah, sure, go for it. But because Invar is actually not that hard to make, but I mean, it just takes what, iron and ferrous. But for us, it would still be a waste. So let's go ahead and put those in there. I'll add some redstone to fix that later. We need our wrench. Where did our wrench go? Or is it? Actually, it's a hammer. And it's right here. Alright. So we're going to pull up all this conduit, or, excuse me, flux duct, and replace it with the redstone. Just like so. And this is much better looking. You have to admit. You can actually see through it. Alright, so you can connect them like this, but it's going to be limited by the lesser of the two. So, just so you're aware. But I'm going to stick all of this up and do the wiring underneath as well, and then I'll be back with you. Alrighty folks, so needless to say, that thing definitely drains a whole lot of power from my system. So much in fact that I can't really use anything else while it's charging. So this is still sucking it up to, you know, fill up this reservoir, but eventually, in a minute or so, we'll have power start building up in our energy cells. I don't know if I'm going to use the redstone versions of those or not. I'm thinking about using the Ender IO versions, just because I haven't used them before. I think that'd be fun. But we're going to do something about energy generation. It's not going to be a whole lot, but it's going to be just enough, I think, that it'll help us out a little bit. So in this mod pack, we have the solar expansion stuff. And solar expansion is basically the advanced solar panels of thermal expansion. So it's an add-on mod that's not directly related to solar expansion. I mean, it's not related to thermal expansion. Gosh, these words. But it works directly with it. So it's made for the mod. It's not made by the same people. But it is basically the exact same thing that advanced solar panels, which has been around for a long time, is, except for instead of doing EU, it does RF, which is pretty cool. So we're going to start working with these a little bit. I don't have the materials to really do a lot of it because you need steel for these first ones, which is actually kind of crazy. But we've got a little bit that we picked up in some chests. So, all right. So for this first one, here's the steel that I was talking about. We need these photovoltaic cells. All right. So we need 3 of them per solar panel, which generates 1 RF per tick. So they're not very strong, not at all. But they provide a little bit of passive, you know, energy generation that's not based on coal, which is nice. So let's go ahead and take a look. All right, so we need some glass panes, we need some lapis shards, and we need some iron nuggets. Okay, those are some strange things. All right, so let's just grab, actually I should just shift clicked, some of those. We need some glass panes. So let's do it like this. We'll just grab, I guess, 3 stacks since they're really easy to make. Okay. And what else? Where'd they go? You know what? Let's just do like this. And also add some helmets, which I'll probably never use, but because they're hideous. Is this off of... It's off for an iron helmet. Interesting. Figured it'd be off of something more expensive. Alright, so let's get back to this. Alright, so next we should have some ore berries in here. So let's see how many of these we can make. 5. One short of what we need. Alright, so let's go ahead and get some iron ingots then. Or iron nuggets, sorry. And make one more of these. I would like to make enough, which is 9. So, I'll probably just go ahead and make these first 2 on camera and then go from there off camera. Because it can take a while. If you don't have it set up to autocraft, it takes a long while to build up through these different panels, which is, I think, actually justified. I mean, that's pretty powerful. So 32,000 per tick. So basically 16,000 per tick a day. So as you know, it's not going to generate anything or next to nothing at night. But yeah, so these are actually really powerful. And don't worry, I'm going to get into big reactors and stuff like that too, because we're going to need a lot of power for the kind of stuff that I usually set up. So, alright, so we can toss these photovoltaic, interesting, cells in there. And go ahead and move on to the next step, which is these leadstone solar cores, which is basically lead nuggets around an iron ingot, so it's actually not that complicated. But I don't think I have any lead nuggets, which I don't. So why don't we just do like so. Alright. My apologies. Alright, so one thing that's kind of sad about this mic is that it doesn't have a mute on it, which that's okay, I guess, but alright, so we're just going to make 2. And I need some steel nuggets, so I don't think I have any of those either, but oops, not that kind of steel. Man of steel, really interesting. Alright, so let's go ahead and do it this way. Get a stack of those, and now I should be able to make 2 of these guys. Alright, now I need my redstone conduits that... Oh, they're actually in my inventory. Okay, that's fine. And the question is, where do I want to put these? I kind of want to put them in the roof, because that sounds cool to me. Alright, so let's go ahead. I should have kept my axe on here, but I didn't, so... Basic power, huh? Okay, and like so. And then we'll need to hook them up. So these aren't going to produce much, and actually they don't have an inventory that I can access. Not sure how I feel about putting it there. I might make a cover later so that it's not just open to air like that. So let's head outside. And I'm going to bring this over 1 instead of going straight down the back, because my ladder is attached over there, so... Oops, that was not what I meant to do. Alright, let's get rid of you, and we'll get rid of you as well. And I hear zombies. Now, how far do I need to bring this down is the question. I'll hook this up later. So where does this bring us out? Okay. Oh, hello. Actually, that is exactly where we need to be. So that worked out really well. I'm actually a little bit surprised about that. But I do want to do... Instead, I want it to come like this. That way, I'm going to trap myself in here if I close that up before. Alright, so we'll go like this and then head back over here. So maybe I should have brought it over 2. That would have made a little bit more sense, but I've already done this. And again, temporary, so... Alright, so let's put it like that. That way we've covered that up. And then we'll switch out for the cobblestone and cover that back up. Alright, so it's still not hooked up though. And even when it's hooked up, you're probably not going to notice as much of a difference. So it's just going to be always there and generating power, which will end up being quite a bit over time. But over the short term, it's not going to be much at all. So I think we're going to wrap it up here. I do want to talk a little bit about what I think I've pretty much decided. I mean, this is subject to change, but I think I'm not going to use the Ender IO conduits. They're extremely nice because you can fit, power conduits, energy conduit. I mean, okay, those are the same thing. Power conduits, fluid conduits, and item conduits all into one block. So that is extremely powerful. But I love to see fluids going around, and I love to see items zipping around the base. I think that is really awesome. And using Ender IO keeps you from seeing that. So I think that is actually pretty disappointing. But I might use them if I have like some complex setups that I need to do for like ore processing and stuff like that. But largely I think I'm going to stick with the thermal dynamic stuff because you can actually see the items moving around, and the same with fluids and stuff like that. So I just find that a lot more interesting than seeing just normal conduits. And the normal conduits, you just kind of stick them behind a wall and, or put a panel over them and never look at them again. And I think that's kind of sad. So yeah. So we're going to stick with the thermodynamic stuff for the large part and use some of the Ender IO machinery because some of it is really, really awesome. And yeah. So zombie on the other side of the wall, you are annoying. Actually, there's a little bit of water over there and he's probably swimming in it. So he's getting put out as soon as he gets set on fire. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for today. And between this episode and next, I might work on some beautification for this little town. Keep meaning to do that. I did do that wall over there. I don't know if you guys noticed when I ran by it. I think once. I put this wall up here. I tried a couple other blocks, but they didn't look quite right. And I'm trying to stick with, again, simple Minecraft textures. I don't want to put in a lot of fancy stuff because this is just a normal Minecraft village. Well, not so much because it has walls around it, but you know what I mean. It's built out of the Minecraft buildings. But, yeah. I want to put some trees in, because that would help out a lot. And I want to get rid of these torches and put in some natural light. Or some more natural looking stuff than just having a torch sitting on the ground. But with that, you also have to worry about natural spawns coming in. And even if we have a lot of guards, I'm still a little worried about, things spawning and having a zombie invasion and killing off my people. So I'll have to think about what I'm going to do with that. And I need to start off a mine shaft because we need a lot of diamonds. Because we need to get some armor and all other sorts of stuff. And I need to start on that. And, it just goes on and on and on. So, I'll figure it out. Don't worry. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. And until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.